The rental market is a hot topic no matter what circle you're in. In San Francisco, there are 16 main reasons that a landlord can legally evict someone. That ranges from anywhere from not paying your rent to having too many roommates.
Now, one specific reason is being used at a near record rate, and it's all about family here. These kinds of evictions have spiked almost 200% in recent years. Investigative reporter Begad Shaban joins us right now with much more. Begad?
Well, guys, even if you haven't been evicted, you might be living in a home where someone was kicked out illegally. And that means you can actually lock in that person's old rent price, even if it's thousands of dollars less than what you currently pay. Our investigative unit spent 6 months looking into evictions all across San Francisco. And we found some landlords seem to be abusing the system and making a lot more money in the process.
Alrighty, you can have this. You want to eat this first?
Angelique Rochelle and her daughter Leona have lived in this Oakland apartment for 2 years, but they still don't consider it home. This is where they say they should be living, a San Francisco apartment that was their home for nearly a decade, until they were forced to leave.
I was trying to do my best to stay there with 10 years of my kids in school and my whole community there.
Your whole life was there?
Yeah, my whole life was there. It's still there.
In San Francisco, landlords can legally kick out their tenants if they, or in some cases their relatives, want to move in. It's called an owner move-in eviction. And when Rochelle, a single mom, got her eviction notice, she and her 3 kids had to leave their home that had been under rent control for 10 years.
You couldn't find a place that you could afford that could fit all of you after that?
Yeah, it'd been impossible.
Her 2 oldest children went to live with their dad in San Francisco, and Rochelle moved to Oakland with her youngest daughter.
It's kind of like having your kids taken away from you it's hard.
San Francisco was home to 413 of those evictions last year, the most seen this decade. To find out what's behind the spike, we obtained city records for an entire year's worth of evictions. The hundreds of pages list every landlord or family member that was supposed to move into a home as part of an eviction in 2014. By law, they had to intend to live there for at least 3 years before renting to someone new. But our investigation uncovered what appears to be widespread abuse.
What we found, was pretty astonishing.
That's my producer, Michael Bott. We, along with other members of our investigative unit, traveled all throughout the city over the past 6 months, going door to door to nearly 300 of those homes to find out who's actually living there. We interviewed over 100 people about their living situation, and in 24 cases, which represent nearly 1 in 4 of all the evictions we looked into, the person who should be living in the home is not, an apparent violation of the city's own laws.
Does anyone actually check if the people that should have moved in are the ones actually living there?
No, we don't check.
Robert Collins is the executive director of the San Francisco Rent Board, the agency in charge of investigating wrongful evictions. The office doesn't require any proof of residency after an eviction, but does investigate cases when someone files a complaint.
So the people who are evicted basically have to take it upon themselves to be their own sort of private investigator?
At this point, yes.
Collins says the best option for people is to take their landlords to court. If you've been wrongly evicted, San Francisco law allows you to collect hefty damages that can total millions of dollars.
We are talking about people's houses, people's homes, if you would. And we're facing an affordability crisis. So, there's really no way to minimize how important that is.
It's tragic and very unfortunate.
We showed our findings to San Francisco Supervisor Jane Kim.
Where has the city been? Why doesn't there appear to be oversight?
Like many laws on the books, we are a complaint-driven enforcement system. But I think it would help if we started doing these random audits and prosecuting owners that we're finding that are flagrantly evading the law.
The Rent Board submits a random sampling of owner move-in evictions to the district attorney's office each month to investigate. But we discovered not a single person has been prosecuted in nearly the past 10 years. The DA's office tells us it's difficult to prove that landlords actually intended to commit fraud when they evicted their tenants.
You want me to do something with your hair?
Which brings us back to Angelique Rochelle. She and her family were evicted after the owner of the building said his mother was moving in.
Yeah, I think he said she was sick, but at one point she was going to help out with the family.
The eviction filed with the city shows the landlord's mom is supposed to be living there at least through next year. So we checked out the building for ourselves, and we didn't find the landlord's mother. Instead, brand new tenants are renting. And by the looks of this online ad, the apartment has been completely renovated. The listed price, $5,000 a month. That's nearly 3 times the price of what Rochelle was paying.
Your whole life changed because they said you have to move out because a family member's moving in.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out that family member isn't living there.
Not sure what to say to that. I mean, surprise!
The landlord declined to speak with us, and the new tenants didn't want to talk either. But what they don't realize is if their landlord can't defend that eviction, they're actually entitled to Rochelle's old rent. Countless others across San Francisco may also be eligible and not even know it.
You might end up having really much better rent than you thought you would have ever had.
Extend that to an entire year of rent, and we're talking savings of $30,000, $35,000 in some cases.
Were you able to get your homework done?
Angelique Rochelle says landlords shouldn't be allowed to kick anyone out until they first prove that they or their family members are actually moving in.
If that's the sole reason they're able to have families split apart. Bye, boo-boo.
Bye.
Love you. Then definitely they need to show that that's what they're doing.
Now, on our website, we've mapped every single owner move-in eviction in San Francisco for the past 3 years. And it's easy to find your neighborhood. You just zoom in and you can even see when the eviction took place. Many of these are totally legal, but if your address is listed here and you're not the landlord or family member, chances are someone was wrongfully evicted, and you might be able to lock in their cheaper rent. You just fill out the official complaint form we've posted on our website. There you can also find our map, and you can contact us. If you live in one of these homes, we want to hear from you. That's all at NBCBayArea.com. Guys, back to you.